Now you made this shy.
Hi guys.
Hey guys, welcome to WrestlingRumors.net Raw Review, presented by WrestlingRumors.net. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let everyone know that Sam Daly here at Lady Nexus 13 herself is on WrestlingRumors.net, and we're doing the review shows. Speaking of Lady Nexus, Raw came from the city. It emanated tonight from the city where you got your Lady Nexus nickname.
Yes, it did.
That's where you were dubbed Lady Nexus
Atlanta,
at WrestleMania
Georgia.
27. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 27. So, all right,
So
Sam.
I'm glad that they had a very good Raw from that city.
It was
very glad
that it was a good Raw, and it was a very fast 3 hours compared to a lot of nights.
It was.
I mean, it was, and I think top to bottom it was really good. Let's start. I picked out. I'm going to try and do it a little bit differently this time, guys. I just basically picked out some things that made it a little bit easier. One of the bullet points I really knew that we were going to hit on was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. Where were they advancing that storyline? They made that real easy on us tonight because obviously, as you guys saw, Dean Ambrose was supposed to have a match with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt gets attacked from behind by Roman Reigns on his way to the ring. And then Bray Wyatt takes the lantern and crushes it over Roman Reigns' skull.
I love the fact that he used the lantern right there because as soon as he rolled out of the ring, I saw the lantern right there next to the ring. So I was screaming, literally screaming in our living room, going, use the lantern! And then he grabbed it. I marked the fuck out.
I was there.
It was amazing.
I know this. Yes, I know this.
And I also like the fact that Roman Reigns didn't come out in his vest. It was a t-shirt.
Yeah, you know what? There is.
I don't know. It's like a buffer to me. It kind of makes me like Roman Reigns more. I wish he would just drop the vest.
I do wish he would drop the vest.
That's actually what it made me think of tonight. I just wish he would drop the vest, and maybe that might make me not hate Roman Reigns. I don't know what it is about Roman Reigns. I just don't like it. Maybe that's it.
I think there's a lot of reasons why we all can debate why there's a disinterest in Roman Reigns, and I think that a lot of arguments are very valid.
I'm trying not to hate him. I'm trying to like him.
And that's the thing. I am, and I really want to. Right, and which we are definitely going to talk about, but not yet. As Vince would say, we're not going to give that to you yet. I'm not going to give that to you yet. Ironically, I'm just going to make mention of this. We had a nice little Lita appearance on Raw tonight, basically just to, fluff toughen up a little bit. But it was nice to see the lovely Lita on Raw. Nice to hear the music again.
Always, and she just looks better with age.
All right, so now
sexy.
Before we get into what I think are the three main storylines of the night, let's get to the matches that really didn't have too much to do with anything. Obviously, just the storyline carryovers to Battleground. So we had Ryback and Orton versus Big Show and Sheamus. Miz on commentary. To me, this was all about Miz being on. It was more about putting Miz over and why he's in this triple threat match. Yeah. What did you get out of it?
I thought it was okay. Again, it was kind of like last week, or not last week, but the last couple matches with Ryback and Big Show when The Miz was on commentary or at the side of the ring or just messing around during the match. It's The Miz is the only thing making this three-way interesting.
Yeah, and obviously
I feel bad for The Miz because he's really the only one doing the work.
And The Miz on commentary then goes to grab the microphone as he always does. Big Show then chases him. That leaves Sheamus all alone with Randy Orton and Ryback. First, he eats one of the most comical RKOs I've ever seen. And then
I still don't know why that happened.
Yeah, and then he takes a big splash from the big guy off the top rope. So now we're starting to see that as a quasi-signature since we're not using finisher anymore. So, Sam, what do you think this means, for Battleground? Who do you see coming out? And I've said this every show. So now let's get your final pick before you change it one last time before the pay-per-view.
I'm not going to change it.
Right now, who do you see coming out with the Intercontinental Championship?
I would like to see The Miz. I see The Miz, okay? You've kind of won me on The Miz.
I in a weird way, I think that if...
They seem to be pushing him really hard.
And I think if Ryback retains, we're obviously seeing Miz and Miz and now I'm having I've been doing this all day. I feel like Seth Rollins, which we're going to get to in a second. We're going to have Miz and Ryback for the Intercontinental Championship. I think regardless of what happens, I think this is just a buffer to get to make that happen. Yeah. We had King Barrett versus RTruth. RTruth with the lie detector for the win. They have a pre-show match now for the crown. Sam, what happens?
I'm gonna go RTruth steals the crown from him eventually. At the pay-per-view.
Right now, let me ask this question. Now, this is
simply
pre-show.
Because it'll be hilarious.
This is pre-show, and we've said what has Wade Barrett done? Like, what's going on? I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, if King Barrett loses to RTruth and loses his king, is he in heat By your opinion, what's going on?
Ever since he won King of the Ring, we've been asking what the fuck did Wade Barrett do? And
it's
just nobody
it's
knows.
mind-numbing to
Is
me.
he?
Now I'm gonna enjoy it because I think RTruth is entertaining regardless. But it's strange to me. It's very strange. It's very inquisitive.
I don't know. I do like this setup though. RTruth is making this hilarious.
Yes.
And Wade Barrett goes along with RTruth very well.
And before we get to anything that dealt with, we had New Day. I'm sorry, New Day versus Primetime Players and Mark Henry. New Day cutting a promo beforehand. Then obviously Mark Henry getting the win over Xavier Woods. Sam, who wins the tag team championships on Sunday?
Primetime Players.
Think they retain?
I'll go with they retain.
Oh, I'm you know what? I don't know yet.
Is this a tough one for you?
I'm going to wait for SmackDown because I'll watch SmackDown for the first time in a while. I'll admit I haven't been keeping up on SmackDown, but I'll watch SmackDown and then I'll make my prediction.
I mean, I'd like to see New Day get them back, but I can see them keeping it on Primetime Players for just a little bit longer.
And then a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful return by Stardust tonight. Cutting a wonderful promo backstage first. It's something that Doug and I spoke of, and it was absolutely what Doug was saying, when we did wrestling warm-up today. Just letting Stardust cut those promos, let people really connect with him. Sam, you're mixed on this. Do you like that he's Stardust? Do you like what you're seeing? Stardust getting the win over Neville, by the way, via roll-up. Sam, do you like Stardust being Stardust, or did you want – because he was getting a lot of Cody chants, but where are you at with that?
I wanted Cody back. I'm glad Stardust is here to stay for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love that now he's got the 3 diamonds on his forehead. He added something to his costume. He gave a great promo backstage before the match. His match in-ring work was amazing still. His mannerisms and everything as Stardust. I don't know. I think he can take Stardust a little bit farther. I like it.
And I think this is now, like we talked about on warm-up, if they would have given, let me ask your opinion, because this is just something we talked about. If they would have given Stardust more time to do the backstage promos like this, whenever they first broke him away from Goldust, do you think he would have been given more of a chance versus how nobody really has an opinion? You either kind of love him or you're kind of indifferent on him. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that's in a limbo state. If they would have after the break, if they would have started with him like this, would his character be more successful right now? Would it connect with fans more?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Way to be as vague as possible.
I was very vague.
I like that you dodged that question.
Very vague. No, I've always liked Stardust. Well, I didn't like Stardust at first because I wanted Cody back. I
hated Stardust.
I really wanted Cody back,
real.
but he grew on me. And I don't know. I like it.
That's all that matters.
I don't know. I'm so indifferent on it. I just don't know.
Now, the 3 big stories of the night, and I'm trying to really debate on how I want to order these. And you know what? We're going to end with the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So we'll get that out of the way. And we're actually we'll do Cena Owens now. Just because I think it's important, because I know you really want to go nuts about a certain topic. I think everybody knows what it's about. But the Cena Owens, the United States Championship Invitational, we had Rusev answer the call. Then Kevin Owens came out. Then Cesaro came out. Basically, all hell broke loose all over again. We had a triple threat match. The winner of the triple threat then went on to face John Cena. Rusev getting the win after Kevin Owens just leaves. Rusev, after taking really just a pummeling by Cena after a while. And by the way, it's a 5-star triple threat match. And I know we keep saying this, but I'm not the biggest triple threat match fan. But I thought it was an excellent match. I'm going to let you talk more about a lot of this. So just recapping real quick. And long story short, we get Rusev with the accolade on Cena after a comeback. Kevin Owens comes up, pop-up powerbomb, says nobody's taking the title but me. Sam, is Cesaro going to somehow get into a triple threat, because that was the rumor, or is this just going to be one-on-one with him and Cena?
I think it's just going to be one-on-one with him and Cena. I don't think Cesaro is going to get in it. And can I just say, I really think that Vince was the one who booked this, because if you look at it, it's a Swiss, a Canadian, a Bulgarian, and American all walk into a bar. It's the bad first line to any joke, and Vince probably was like, "That's an amazing storyline" or something.
Funny. It's funny that you picked it up too, because I wasn't even thinking. For you to pick that up was hysterical.
You know, so, but no, I thought it was a really great, amazing match.
Did it surprise you that Rusev is actually the one that won and went over Cesaro?
I was really surprised. Once Kevin Owens walked out, I was like, okay, Cesaro's got this in the bag. Completely. He got it in the bag.
Do you feel like this was done to stifle all of the triple threat rumors, maybe?
Possibly. I can see that.
And now the triple threat can still happen, obviously.
I don't think that there's going to be a triple threat unless they make it on SmackDown, which I highly doubt.
So then what's your match for SummerSlam with John Cena or Kevin Owens then? I mean, you can make a case
Cesaro for either of them.
And then opposite of who?
You know, I don't know.
Aha, like in Coming to America. Aha, taste the soup. All right. So basically, that's the big thing that we have going on right now. I love what's going on. After I was hesitant personally to have Cesaro thrown in for a triple threat match, only because there's been such magic with Cena and Owens recently. But after the initial triple threat tonight, I would have absolutely watched a triple threat match, with Cesaro. And I think it would be excellent and an excellent way to carry it over into SummerSlam. But who knows? At this point, who knows? We're keeping kayfabe alive. We don't know what's going on from here to there. So.
And since when did Rusev start wearing shoes, by the way?
Ever since the injury.
Okay. So is it just while he's recovering, or is he just always going to wear shoes? No,
it's from what I understand, it's going to be permanent. I mean, quote me on it because it's just an opinion what I heard. I don't know if that's true. I don't want to say don't quote me because someone's going to anyway. But all right, now let's get to your biggest moment of the night. I joked on the warm-up show that I couldn't read what you responded to me about. Hey, what about this idea for tonight? We have Team Bella in the ring. Nikki Bella cutting a very good promo, and guys, we always want to praise AJ Lee for giving a very CM Punk style promo. Nikki Bella gave one hell of a promo tonight, flanked by, Alicia Fox and Brie Bella. Sam, I thought it was brilliant. Stephanie McMahon's music hits, comes out and says, there's a lot of divas that you haven't met yet. And there's a lot of women back there scratching and clawing. Basically introduces Paige, introduces Becky Lynch, introduces Charlotte. Then Naomi comes out alongside Tamina. And then Sasha Banks comes out. Now we have 3 teams of 3. Chaos. We have like a 9 diva NXT WWE kind of battle royal going on. At one point, you have all 3 NXT divas with their submission signature moves on WWE talent. Sam, you wanted this payoff. You begged for this payoff. We've talked about this payoff since WrestleMania on a very small podcast that we do. How do you feel now that it happened?
Let's just say that every time Stephanie would introduce someone, I was just like jumping up and down. I was like one of those whack-a-moles. I would just pop up every once in a while, like, Becky Lynch. Okay, Sasha Banks. I was just like every time. I lost my mind. It was amazing.
It was.
That was the best segment of the night. That was the best match of the night. If it wasn't match, because it was really more just an all-out.
It was a brawl. Yeah, it's not a match. Yeah. Now, are you saying that you think it was the best because this is?
It was amazing.
It was the most anticipated because we all as fans, we all hoped it would happen. Now there's skepticism on both sides.
I'm not gonna give it all up to anticipation.
Well, I can play devil's advocate as well because I understand the other side about potentially gutting NXT with all the who are you leaving down there? But at the same time, it's developmental. So I could see both sides of the argument. But this is, I think, what everybody wanted. So now that I think there was the anticipation behind it. I think, and it's something that, like we've spoken about for months, we've never seen it with women before. We've never seen a women invasion.
You're chopping it all up to really anticipation, like because everyone was looking up to it. No, I don't think that's what it was. Yeah, that's part of it. But I mean, like you said, Nikki Bella gave an amazing promo.
Right.
Stephanie came out, gave an amazing promo, introduced all these people that were insane. They switched it on us, brought out Naomi and Tamina, and brought out just another team that would bring in Sasha Banks. So, I mean, there was a lot more. And then after the big brawl, and you said everything that happened, and it was the girls were basically showing off everything that they do in NXT, which really got the crowd into it because they were actually letting the women go. And then once it was all over and the Bellas were crawling away, the camera just pans out and you see Stephanie McMahon just kind of like have a sinister look at the top of the ring. Like, yeah, that's the new Divas division. That's what we have. That was fucking amazing. Don't just chop that up to anticipation.
Well, no, I'm saying no, it was absolutely amazing. They hit it out of the park, but because that's the payoff we wanted. And not only was it the payoff we wanted, I feel like they superseded.
Yeah, because they even swerved us even more.
Absolutely, and I think that's what makes it. I think that's what makes it special. It's not. There's so many elements that makes it special. I don't know if we have any Key and Peele fans out there, but we'll just say they drax them clowns. So there's gonna be 3 people to get that joke, and if you do, tweet me please at AdamDaily13. We'll just laugh together about that. But no, I think this does so much for women's wrestling too. I think this made such an impact, and I think this is something that, guys, you're going to see. This is going to be pop culture tomorrow. This is going to be a segment that is talked about, I think, in major media outlets. And this is maybe just me overhyping it, but I do think that this is, I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I could make a case that this was the biggest moment by far.
Okay, well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that they're actually going to stay up on the main roster after all this?
You know what? I don't know.
Do you think at least one of them are?
I would think Charlotte is, yeah. I would think Charlotte definitely is. I think Sasha, we know, is defending the NXT title, I believe, in Brooklyn the night before SummerSlam.
Okay.
Or in Brooklyn the night before SummerSlam. So I think that her and Becky will go back down. We know Bayley, we believe Bayley was supposed to be up as well, but she broke her hand. So it was supposed to be the 4 horsewomen. But we think, we should say that. But I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one to see. I'm just going to enjoy this and ride this out until Battleground and see where they go from here. And instead of over-analyzing, I'm just enjoying the payoff for a change, and really enjoying the fan aspect of it, and really reflecting on how this is going to advance, I think, a woman's role in professional wrestling or sports entertainment, whatever you want to say.
I don't care. It was just exciting.
I liked it. It's
exciting, and I loved it. And all the women were perfect, and they showed off what they can do, and it was just amazing.
And what's humorous is that I'm the one over here saying I think it's great how that this is going to be the advancement for women's wrestling. I think it's poignant. You're just going, it was so effing awesome. It's like the roles were completely reversed of what this really should be.
Let the high of what just happened just wear off before I can be like, okay, so this is really going to help out women's rights and movement, and it's going to be
I'm not saying
great
women's rights.
and empowering the women. I don't give a shit about that right now. Not right now. I'm thinking about all the NXT women that had the main roster women in submission locks in the ring at the same time. It was amazing.
I do think this is.
Yeah, I'm a little excited.
I do think this is the one segment we'll see cross over into pop culture tomorrow, and in that, I think you win the argument by saying that this is probably the your favorite and the spot of the night. I really do. All right, so now with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship picture, we started out the night with Paul Heyman delivering Paul Heyman. I mean, there's no other way of saying it. It's just Paul Heyman being Paul Heyman. Another promo selling it. He's calling him the Beast of Battleground is what he's referring to Brock Lesnar as. And it says he made point to say it's rare to see Brock Lesnar a challenger. And he pointed out The Rock is an example back in whatever year it was. I think it was 2002. I want to say, I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that, guys. 2002, 2003, something like that. But he mentioned The Rock. He mentioned Randy Couture when he was first challenger and how he conquered the legend. And then he brought up John Cena at SummerSlam last year and said how he conquered John Cena. So with Brock Lesnar as a challenger, he's a very interesting beast. Rollins comes out, messes up on the mic, much like I do on a weekly basis on here. So I sympathize with my boy Rollins. He said inanimate. He couldn't say it. So he just was blamed it on frustrations of the J&J security car getting demolished. Obviously, he said that he's burning Suplex City to ground. Brock Lesnar very calmly says, I'm going to take you to Suplex City tonight, bitch. And that's where Kane steps in, announces a contract signing. I didn't have to say it. None of us did. Paul Heyman said it for us. This is where we all know what happens at a contract signing. And remember, don't violate the 11th commandment. Sam, I know you actually didn't get to see this first bit. That's why I kind of went a little lengthy on it. So you didn't get to see it. But when you got to see the little clips and bits and pieces, what did you think of what you saw?
I thought it was, of course, like always, Paul Heyman delivering an amazing promo. And Brock Lesnar looking very intimidating.
And then when does he not?
Very scary.
When does he not? So then obviously backstage we have Kane. Kane and Rollins trying to game plan. Basically kind of saying, Kane saying it's not going to end well for one of us if this doesn't go through. So end segment of the night, Rollins comes out, cuts an awesome promo. They show a Lesnar video package of when they put him out a couple weeks ago with the attack. Heyman comes out. He comes out with another classic Paul Heyman promo, much like what we saw. Contract signing table gets flipped over. I know that's a surprise.
No, I mean, big surprise. I'm sorry.
I like that the sarcasm just completely went over because it never happens that way.
I thought you were being serious there for a second.
But
I was like,
Brock Lesnar finding an axe handle underneath because Seth Rollins was looking underneath real quick. Basically, guys, once again, all hell breaks loose. We knew this was going to happen, but it was nice. It was a nice back and forth. Each guy getting the upper hand, each little faction or stable. The real end of it saw where Brock Lesnar basically takes the steel steps, takes Kane's leg completely out, or ankle or leg, whatever, however they're going to sell this. Ankle, okay, that's what they're going to sell it. And Seth Rollins, after running, comes back in the ring, cuts another promo, says, "I don't need anybody," and indirectly kind of fires Kane and says, "I don't need you." So now, Sam, Seth Rollins has now alienated himself from everybody from the authority.
Well, he didn't really fire him or alienate him. He kind of kicked him on when he had a shattered ankle. He kind of kicked his ankle whenever he was supposedly have a shattered ankle.
I would say that's alienating yourself from somebody.
Well, yeah.
When you kick a man when he's down, yeah, that's it. That's yeah.
I mean, I thought it was important to specify that he kicked him while he was already down.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was already. I mean,
it's not really firing. It's kind of being more dick.
Potato, I guess.
It was for no reason. I was like, why is he going after Kane?
Because he's trying to show that he can beat Brock Lesnar without anybody's help.
Well, yeah, I understood that.
So let's toss just a hypothetical in there because it's going to get talked about. It's going to get
You're experiencing technical difficulties. We'll be right back. Due to technical difficulties on the Daily's end, this is the end of the broadcast. Thank you for watching Raw Review. We'll catch you on the next one.